going on, guys? This is your boy Chris with Exclusi-V, and we're here at Mike Guy's Boxing Gym in Dorado Hills, and you're in for something special today. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Chris with Exclusi-V, and guess what? We have an amazing time for you guys. I'm here with Mike Guy. He's one of our sponsored athletes with Exclusi-V CBD, and we're here to interview him, find out a little bit more about him, and take it from there. So, Mike, this is your spot, dude. Tell the audience where we're at right now.
Well, this is my gym. I'm Mike Guy. We're in Dorado Hills, California.
What's the address here?
1117 Winfield Way, right off the 50 and Latrobe exit.
Yep.
Real easy to get to. 1 minute from the freeway.
Yep. So Mike has been, he's a professional boxer, ranked, what's your rank right now?
The last I looked was 12 or 13.
12, 13 in the United States. So, and he fights middleweight, like super middleweight?
Super middleweight, 168.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy, he's probably one of the best, if not the best, in Sacramento, and he's been doing this for quite some time. He has, his own practice here. Tell the audience. I want people to get to know you, right? I want them to understand who Mike Guy is, what got him into boxing, and ultimately your story, I think, is gonna reflect and tell everybody why I wanted to work with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm more of a regular kind of person that came from you gotta grind to get your stuff. It wasn't nothing handed to me, or what I mean, and didn't really have a whole lot of
things given to you,
or just positive figures to be like, hey, do this, go this way, you should do this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which at the time, I didn't know that it didn't really make sense for me to always want to have a job, always want to go to school, always, not want to do the negative stuff,
negative things, yep,
that was around me.
Mm-hmm.
I had this natural self
motivation.
Just it was like a self-preservation that, like, hey, you got to do this or ain't nothing gonna work. I seen friends and family members go through this, die, jail, prison, things like that, and there was nobody was like, hey, don't do this, you can end up like them. To me, it was, I didn't know them, but that wasn't natural, but it was like common sense to me. I see everybody getting messed up going this way. I'm not gonna go that way. I'm gonna do something a little bit different.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is like, and that's the kind of the sense I got from you the very first time I met you. But little does the audience know, when I first seen you was actually in the ring. So, like Jose Morales Boxing Academy, very well connected with them. David Magoza was having a fight, and I remember seeing you fight. Yeah. And I saw this dude walking in, and I was like, man, that dude looks, his name's Mike, he looked like Mike Tyson. I was like, he's like a Mike Tyson, but you look fucking mean as shit, and hell in condition, all that. And I was like, damn, I wonder what that dude's like. And now, come full circle, now we're here having a conversation, and I know a lot more about you. There's a lot of connections that we go back. We're about the same age, and that's what's very impressive to me, is that at your age, it's like how old do you feel?
I'm 39, but I probably feel about like 26, 27.
Yeah, I love it.
I did one of those little tests where it tests your body out.
Yeah. And
that may have been a couple years ago, and it said I was about like 25, 26.
Right, yeah.
But I think that has come from what you put in your body. Like, even growing up, I never been into like drugs, weed, and then at the beginning of boxing, couldn't drink, couldn't do anything, I probably really start picking up having a few drinks for like the past like 6-7 years.
For sure.
But you gotta, when you starting like a sport, you gotta
be as clean as possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're trying to learn something, you can't be on the fence. You gotta be all in.
Yeah, and So let's jump back to kind of like your history, right? Because that's what I'm finding is that success has really nothing to do with the present. Like people that are successful that I'm interviewing, talking with and whatnot, like they've gone through trials and tribulations and learning, and nothing ever escapes that from what I've seen. It doesn't matter if you're handed a silver spoon or, you know, what it may be, but you still have to go through it.
Yeah.
So I want to know a little bit more about that. Like, how is your parental figures, you know, in growing up? Like, you know, and then what, because here's the thing, and I don't, that may be getting deeper, whatever, but I think that that's going to be very important for the audience to understand, you know, kind of where you're from, you know what I mean? Because more people than you ever think are from the same situation, you know, that you are.
So like for me, like single parent home, my mom, you know, she struggled, you know, hustle, do whatever she had to do to take care, you know, of me. And then, you know, at the time, just like my sister, we're 8 years apart.
Okay.
You know,
she older or younger?
Younger.
Younger.
She's
okay.
8 years younger than me, and I had to grow up early, taking care of her.
Be the man of the house.
You know, doing all that, and far as like parental, it wasn't like really no positive people around. You know what I mean? It was, you know, I was born in LA, but I was raised in Sacramento, Del Paso Heights, and Strawberry Manor. So the only thing I knew was like drugs, gangs, different things like that. You know, never was in them, but I was just always around them. So like me, people always knew I was different, but you know, I was still just around stuff. You know, I was around. You know, all my family was Crips. All my friends are all Bloods. You know, everybody did stuff. So I was considered what they would call more the square of the group. You know what I mean? Because I drove certain kind of car. Like everybody else like box Chevy, and certain kind of Oldsmobiles. I had like, you know, like a little 325i BMW in school. Then,
you're the import kind of ride.
The Eclipse,
and that's another reason.
You know?
That's another reason why we get along so well is because, dude, the same exact thing.
You know, so I was looked at like more of the square of the bunch. So we be out, we do things, and so some people thought that meant that I wasn't physically capable because I didn't act a certain way. And that's when people started learning out on the street. Oh, you know, my guy got knockouts. You know, I stopped counting after 90 knockouts on the streets. You know, so I was like always fighting. You know, people would be like, you know,
they try to step to it.
Yeah, where you from? This, you Power, you Blood, Crip. I said, you know, like I'm from Sacramento. I'm from the United States. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell people, you don't got to get yourself all worked up just to try to find a reason to start a fight. Just say you want a challenge, or say you know you want to fight, or just start fighting me, and I'll figure it out after that. You don't got to do a bunch of, you know,
talking.
Try to do all this stuff to get yourself worked up. You know.
And okay, so this is another amazing thing about fighters that I've started to understand over time. Getting worked up. Right, because one thing I've noticed about you is like you try to maintain as much composure as possible. You've talked to me about what is it, like thinking about the fight ahead of time, strategizing how many rounds you have to go, all that type of stuff, and then conserving energy, all those things. So 90 knockouts on the streets, right? There has to be a lot of learning that that happened during that, and then from there getting into professional boxing and even coaching people in boxing. Like, kind of walk us through that.
It's two different worlds, you know. Like fight on the streets, that was, you know, that was easy. You know what I mean? It didn't take long because I was a lot bigger then. I was strong. I used to lift weights. I was 217 pounds. You know what I mean? I was squatting in the 500s. You know, benching 335. So. Yeah, but I've always been a fighter, you know. It's just, that was just in me, you know. But then when I got to the boxing gym, it was like starting all over. I went in there, tried to throw my stuff, and started getting my ass whooped because people weren't going down after like 2-3 punches. They were educated. They had skill. They used to people trying to punch them and people trying to knock them out. That's, you know, like whole different birds, like starting all the way over. But, you know, what made me better is that just having that fight in me in general. You never had to, let's try to develop some fight in them. That's already there. Just need to put skill, condition, and. So
I talk about that all the time. I talk because I do like my individual kind of just motivational topics and whatnot, like on IG, and then I also do our mindset minutes, over our podcast. But then this type of thing I talk about a lot is like intrinsic motivation. So like intrinsically, what would you say is where is your fire from? What is your fire from? Why do you live every day the way that you do, and what are your goals at this stage in life?
Well, right now, I'm still focusing on my boxing and getting better and trying to put my name, where somewhere in the books, okay, he got to this level, he did this, he did that, but the ultimate goal, at the end is to be able to pass on that knowledge, and be able to shorten up a window of the things I went through and be able to explain it to somebody that's coming up and get that information into them in a shorter amount of time, without them having to do this and go through that, so put it more on a faster track, because
your track was
way
and that's another thing, man. This is crazy because I'm learning a lot about Mike at this time, just so the audience knows. I'm learning a lot about him right in this moment, and this is what I love, is because I've posted things that say that the success track for an entrepreneur is not this straight line. A lot of people think, oh man, they must have just went from here to here and they got it. And it's nothing like that. It comes up and it goes, and it comes back and it goes up and it goes round like 50 million times. And finally you're here and you're not even close to where you feel you should be.
Yeah.
Right? And the next stage is always teaching others, right? And getting that shortened. And that's an amazing thing. I think that's so commendable of you. And I want to know, like, where did that even come from? Like, what do you... There has to be mentors in your life. There has to be people that have stepped in. Maybe they stepped out. Maybe they're still there.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know about those people and those influences in your life.
The main two people, I probably influenced me, it's kind of like a father figure, is, Anthony McSweeney, a good friend of mine, is kind of like a dad. And then, Brenda Baldwin, my kid's mom.
Yeah.
Like she,
So how many kids do you have, and like how old are they?
I got three boys.
Okay.
My oldest is 18. He's just went to the Army.
Wow.
And then I got a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Okay.
And then but the people that's main two people, actually it's three people. Another close friend, Willie Kinsey.
Okay.
He's like my big brother I never had. Like he's always from amateur fights. If he can fly to a fight, he's
always there.
Pretty much always been there. Just before boxing, just always. And it started out just with my barber.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah.
But we all grew up in the same area, and he knew like my whole family. He knew like all my friends, all their family, and then. We're pretty much, I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like, he's like my big brother from, another mother.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, because every person that I've met that's on a certain track, they always have people that have influenced them, in certain stages in their life. They may or may not be in their life at the current moment, but at some stage they influence them. And whether that be through a positive or a negative, it's the choice of the human being to go, okay, I'm going to take this, grab what I can from it, and and move in a positive light, because anybody can go negative with any particular instance. So, man, that's amazing. Okay, so I want people to know, a little bit more about Mike Guy Boxing, and the kind of the philosophy that you instill with your clients, and what it is that you're trying to do with them if they're going to be a boxing client, or even, I know you train some MMA stars. Let's talk about some of that.
Yeah, as far as like with me teaching, I I like to take people and enhance like whatever they are. I don't believe in like changing them, showing them stuff I like. Or with this person, I like to learn them as much than their body and their creed and their movements, and that kind of shows me what to teach them. There's a lot of fake trainers that like to show them a whole bunch of stuff that they like. You have to teach somebody what their body characteristics and how that moves and enhance that, and then this becomes natural neurological signal, you know. And then I learn how their mind works, you know, so I know what to say, how to talk to them. Some people, you know, I gotta kind of get them going
a certain way.
Other people, I'll be, you know, motherfucker this, get that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Get your ass in gear, like, you know, and everybody know my hashtag is, you know, no bullshitting.
Oh, I love it.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta be good as long as you putting that effort in there. When
It's right up here.
Yeah, it's
no
everywhere.
bullshit.
Yeah, I got shirts,
it.
everything, like, you know,
it.
so if you put hashtag no bullshit, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff pop up on the internet.
That's great.
You know, and that's why, you know, I have professional fighters. I got Aspen Ladd, she's in the UFC, number 3 in the world. You know, just picked up Anthony Hernandez, he's in the UFC. We're getting ready to go to Dubai.
Yes.
You know, next week.
He's getting me a ticket too, by the way, so we'll be out there.
We're in the only place with 7-star hotels. You know?
Oh my, 7 stars?
Yeah.
How do you even get that?
They got it, man. You know. And our downtime, we just drive Ferraris and jet skis and stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's definitely getting me a ticket. So.
Yeah, so it's
No, that's amazing. See, because you know, just even that dialogue, we talk about, you know, where you've been and where you've come. I mean, would you ever have thought that you'd be doing things like that? You know, back growing up in DPH.
Well, it's you know, then I thought the goals that I had were like big goals, and then I look at them now and I'm like, man, those are some sad goals. Cause my goals were to graduate high school, you know, not be dead before 21, and not get, you know, killed or shot by the police.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, those are like goals.
Yeah.
I was like, you make it through those. You made it.
Yeah.
And now that I look back and I'm like,
you hit 21, 22, 23,
I'm like
24.
that, and I, you know, then you start learning things about life and what people do, and like, them ain't no damn goals. Like, that should just be like normal stuff. But when you're in a certain area, you're around certain people, then, you know, those are like serious things. And then you explain that. I didn't always live in the suburbs, you know. You explain that to somebody here, like, well, why would you get killed by the police? You know what I mean? Why would you die before, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard to graduate high school, but I'm saying when you got all these things going on around you, and that's all that's happening, those are like hard goals to get.
For sure.
You know?
Sure. Let me ask you a question, and not to cut anything off there, because this is a pretty important transition, because I've noticed this in a lot of people. I've noticed that those that go through hardships early on in life, you know, the majority of successful people have gone through some pretty major hardships early on, right? Would you say the same is noticeable in people that you're training and that you're you know, mentoring or whatever it may be, and they're much more capable of, not just capable, but their propensity to get to a higher level is greater than those that did not go through hardships? Because the hardships that I've found, you know, because I was a trainer, did all that too, and I found that those that have to go through the hardships later and they had a relatively easy life early, and I'm not talking about easy as far as like hardships with scholastic things, learning things. I'm talking about maybe physically, or maybe, you know, because physically and mentally they're very, very tied. And same with, you know, mentally and, you know, doing schoolwork and whatnot. I think it's a breadth of both, but I want to know kind of like your perspective on what you've seen in people, and then, you know, their trajectory, capabilities with regards to them having like early experiences with hardships.
Yeah, I think when you kind of been through some stuff, then you kind of have not immunity, but
more of a resilience.
Yeah, you kind of, you know, you kind of have that little reference to go back. I've been through some tough shit, you know what I mean? I might be able to get past this, you know. So, and then it gives you a different kind of drive to not want to go back to that, you know. Like, I starved before, you know. I know what it's like to throw up and you dry heaving, but it ain't no food in your stomach to throw up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you have like little references like that, you know what I mean, it pushes you a little harder, you know, and it makes you be able to weather things a little bit different. Not
Yes.
saying a person that, never been through anything and they may grew up in a area to where there's resources, they can, not saying that they can't, but when, you know what I mean?
Tapping into that.
It makes it a little
mental
bit
place.
hard to tap into that when
Yep.
they don't have anything that they've already been through. Not so they can't, but I think it's a little bit more difficult for them
sure.
to handle
Yep.
rough stuff later if they never seen rough stuff. So it's hard for them to be able to identify with that feeling and then
Yeah.
try to get through it.
Yep. And so my reason for even tapping into that is that I know that there's a lot of people, viewers could be, you know, that could be watching now even, that didn't have the most tough time growing up, right? And they may be going, oh my gosh, you know what, I didn't have that tough of a time, you know, that's why I'm not able to make it or whatnot. But the thing is that a lot of the coolest thing about having mental aptitude and your frontal lobe development, being able to be more empathetic, is that you can look into other lives that are not your own.
Yeah.
And almost replicate the feeling, the placement, all those different things, because you were never damaged up there or wired, and you can rewire even later on in life. And that's been some of the cool things that I've seen in people, is that it's only a matter of a decision, right?
Yeah.
You know, so they come and see you, you start telling your stories and getting to know them, they can empathize and see through your eyes what you went through, and in the match, whatever it may be, say they're getting beat down or whatnot, they dig deep and they go, oh well, Mike did this, you know, and that's where coaching, mentorship, all that is extremely important, you know. So what are your feelings on that?
Well, yeah, I think if you are a person and you haven't been through all those things growing up, then you kind of need that, a person who's ever teaching you, or then you need that mentor to be able to break certain things down and help you understand it, because you don't have that natural understanding because you already been through it. You know what I mean? And then you have that person that's teach you, or mentor, to be like, okay, this is what's happening here. You got to do this, you got to do that. You know what I mean? So it goes back to what I was saying, like you can explain all that stuff so they don't have to go through it, but they can still learn it, you know, from you explaining, you know, what you went through, what you had to do, and kind of teach them how to dig deep with actually not having to been through all that stuff. To
actually have gone through it. And
know.
that's your shortening. That's what you're talking about, shortening that time, that window, because you don't have to experience what I experienced in order to achieve this, you know. And that's, I think that's so commendable. It's the most amazing thing, and that's the same thing I have for my daughter. You know, any client I have in mind, I want them to also not have to go through some of the shortcomings that I had to, you know. And that's the mark of an amazing human being to me, you know, to be honest. And so, you know, dude, this interview is going amazing. I want to kind of dive into your use of, you know, say your diet, and, you know, even like our product, like the Exclusi-V, you know, brand and whatnot, and maybe from your perspective, so I don't have to talk about it. You know, let's see what your experience has been and what you're looking to accomplish, and what, you know, your recommendations might be on, you know.
So like when it comes to like the food stuff, like me normally not getting ready for a fight, you know, I'll take in 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day. I eat all day long. Everything good and
probably hungry
bad
right
stuff.
now,
huh? So, but that's how I'm always teaching all day long. I'm always working, so I'm always moving. You know, eating something. You know, putting something in. You know, but then once it gets close to like fight time, I got it ready for a fight, and they like to hit me on short notice. So then I gotta, I gotta hurry up. So then I gotta go to my dietitian. He does all my numbers. You need this, and this body fat. You gotta cut this weight or whatever. He does the numbers. He gives them to my chef. my chef, he does all the macros, put all that stuff in, and you know, then I just do the easy part. I just got to eat, look at the clock, eat, look at the clock, eat, look at the clock, and then they tell me every day, this day you're supposed to be this way, this day you're supposed to be that way. As long as you're doing your water, every day you should be right around that weight.
Nice.
You know, that part's good. You know, and then you know you're training and you're trying to work hard, but you're taking in less calories.
For sure.
Then you need to try to figure out how to recover.
Yep.
You know, so then that's why I hit you about the CBD. I've never had CBD before. You know what I mean? And everybody, you know, it's like blowing up. You was like, hey, you should try this. It has the nanotechnology, help it gets in your system. And like me, I'm always skeptical. I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I remember that one night. You know what I mean? I hit it, and I was, you know, the drops, and I was like out, and I stay up all night. My average time going to sleep is like 2 and 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes I get done training at like 12 at night after I get done training people at like 8 o'clock at night. You know, and I train myself and training, running, whatever. Yeah. You know, when I hit the CBD, and I was like, you know, I was out, was dreaming and everything. Then I said, I hit it again the next night. Let me see it work 2 nights in a row. And then, you know, I think I might have did like 3 nights in a row. I was like, oh, let me take a break. I don't want to waste it. You know, so then I started skipping a few days on the days that it was harder to sleep. Then I tried to hit it, you know, and then the rub, you know, let me try out the rub, you know, and like sometimes my knees be a little sore. You know, so I wonder if it feels like how it makes you feel to relax on the inside. Does it do that on the exterior, like your muscles and stuff? So I was like, you know, rubbing it in, and like almost like a slight little numbness. You know, that little numb kind of feeling, you know, and it like relaxed that area the same way like the drops kind of like relax your body on the inside. 100%, you know. So I'm still learning about this, you know, CBD. It's only been like 3 or 4 months. You know, so definitely into that stuff, and I think I never had those.
No, the gummies we're trying now. So
try the gummies.
Yeah, and I think you're going to be extremely impressed. You probably move from the tinctures to the gummies, you know, just for the convenience factor of it. And having, you know, the ability to maintain a level throughout your system throughout the day. You know, because basically, you know, we're gonna reduce the amount of discomfort, you know, that you might have throughout the day based off pains, you know, aches, things like that, and then inflammation throughout the body. So, you know, and obviously if people want more information on that, they can hit up the website, exclusi-V.com, and go from there. But man, dude, you're very impressive. Like everything, dude, is like, I've always been like hyper impressed by, you know, by you as a character, as a human being, and, you know, as a professional in the, you know, in the boxing world. And, you know, if there's anything, I wish I could have met you sooner. You know what I mean? And, you know,
thank you.
We're going to definitely have a lot more to come with this guy, Mike guy. And
it's like we already been around the same people. Like, you know, you know, Joe. I mean, Joe, we were racing cars in high school. Right? And he's still racing cars today. You know what I mean? So we were doing that, and he came here with you the other day to the gym. You know, and then, you know, like some of his family members.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, it's like a small world. We've already kind of been around, you know.
And I always say this. People. I always say the cream rises to the top, and at the top, that's where we all mingle, you know? So it's always going to happen that way. So, you know, as far as the audience is concerned, you know, I want to make this as relevant to them as possible. If anybody's looking to, you know, kind of get into a circle of people that will take you to the next level, if it's a boxing related thing, I highly recommend coming out to El Dorado Hills. It might be a little stretch for you, but, you know, it's well worth the time and the effort to get here. So it'll be returned probably tenfold. So,
I got some people that drive, you know, an hour a day. You know what I mean? Even Aspen, she just drives 2 hours every day. Wow. You know what I mean? Some people drive from
it's worth
Sacramento, it, you know? El Grove. I got Placerville, Roseville.
And that's just a testament to your capabilities and your involvement with your clientele. And, you know, I love every bit of it. And, you know, I'm here with you and, you know, down to help boost you and your business and everything that, you know, revolves around you. And that's the thing. It's like birds of a feather flock together. So, you know, if you guys have any needs with regards to nutrition, advice, boxing, all that, I would highly recommend Mike Guy Boxing. So,
yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Till next time.